Poland win today, they are into the last 16. It's as simple as that after that fantastic win against Brazil in the opening game. The United States simply cannot afford to lose. A win would be preferable, obviously, because their last game will be against Brazil, and that's going to be very, very tough. But here's Starosta for Poland in the early moments, and he's got his side a free kick as well. It's a good, positive start from a Polish point of view. Starosta from Sheffield United in the English Premier League jogs back to position, having done his job. Now, what can they produce from here? Three in the middle. Barely a minute play. Poland with the opening opportunity here. The referee finally satisfies himself that he's okay with it. And it's a poor delivery, but there will be a second chance. It's back to Dank, lifted in by him, but headed away easily enough by Bradley. And the United States can clear, and not only that, they can clear with purpose. Here's Freddie Adu, the young skipper, almost caught in possession. Rogers. And Sturgis. All the way across to Julian Valentin. Looks as though both sides will be playing a 4-4-2 today. Anthony Wallace, the man who has possession here, in the left-back's position, which he takes over from Tim Ward. This is Sturgis. Careful consideration before he tries to pick out the run of Salzizo, but an easy bounce through to Bartosz Bielkowski in the Polish goal. Header was by Janczyk, who was outstanding in the opening game against Brazil. We're looking for the ball at the moment, but eventually one appears into the hands of Artem Marciniak, the young Polish skipper. Done well to keep it in play. Here's Marciniak again with a cross that doesn't find its purpose. Well won though by Strugrek. Here's Foget. Over the head of Wallace. Headed back by Saka. Saka again. Probing. Looking. Onto the left foot. He's naturally right-footed, so the shot wasn't the strongest. And the US, having survived, can clear again. Here's Adu. Altidore. Making himself available on this left-hand side. Adu has continued his run here. Altidore with a good shot. Just finding his range. Not really troubling Bielkowski in goal. Looking for a little more from Drosma Altidore in this match. He's proven a natural goal scorer. Plays for the New York Red Bulls. 4 goals in his first 4 appearances for his club side. Really did burst onto the scene. Saka tries to win. Wallace with a sliding challenge, picked up by Zotella. Strugrek. Marciniak. Strugrek. Now Foget. Good play by Poland. Well intercepted by Sturgis. Zotella. Bradley's come deep. Bradley again, son of the national full side coach, of course, Michael Bradley. His dad is the coach of the US. It's an interesting ball for Janczyk to chase, and Janczyk scores! What a start for Poland! They're flying again! Dawid Janczyk with the coolest of finishes. Less than 5 minutes played when Poland opened the US defence with this pass and this move and this finish, clinical. Sykes was left sprawling. And Poland are up and away. What a World Cup it's proving to be for them. Great play, good finish. David Jancic came here with a big reputation, plays with Legia Warsaw, but he could very well be on the move to one of the big European clubs in the near future. Chelsea have certainly got an interest in him.
Number 11, David Jancic.
And with finishes like that, he's only going to enhance his reputation now. Big question for the US, can they climb out of this? Sivka, forward for Malecki, who just lost his footing, so no pressure on Sykes. Towards Altidore, laid off for Rodgers again, and Altidore's continued the run. Well, one thing it does guarantee is we should have a really open game now, because they know that 1-0 might not be enough, and the US know that they have got to attack. They have to score goals here, the United States. Simply cannot afford defeat. Wallace. To Sturgis. An easy goal kick for the Poles. Oh, what does he do now? Thomas Wong, but a bit of thinking to do. Patience, I think, will be the game at the moment. Koski's right boot, that's a lot of power, that's a good clearance, and here's Jancic inside. That's a knee for Sivka. Sivka's beaten the defender. Just had to hold it up with Bradley coming back strongly. Well, they've done well here, the US defence. Bradley and Beltran together able to win the ball and half clear. Beltran again just belts it downfield. Here's Fojut on the chase, wants it to roll out of play. And he doesn't get what he wished for. Good battling by Jesmer Altidore. Ultimately thwarted. Saka. It's a wonderful openness to the game at the moment. Great run by Starosta, but Saka was dispossessed before he could find it, and now when the ball is played towards Starosta, it's intercepted by Anthony Wallace. And the United States possession comfortably once more. Zatella. Bradley. Zizzo. Marchinian came across well. Showed real versatility in that first game, didn't he? Marchinian started wide on the midfield. Had to slip back to left back to cover for his departed teammate Christoph Kroll when he was sent off, and here he is starting at left back's position as well. It's a real value to your team when you can play so well in so many different positions. Warrington is careful. This is Wallace. Intelligent play, Zatella. Beltran looks to the middle, and the header! Oh, it's in! It's in! It's somehow squeezed in! What a response and what a goal from Danny Zatella! 2 games played, 2 goals scored, and that will mean an awful lot to him. The youngster with a Polish heritage has scored against the Poles with a great flicked header. I mean, the goalkeeper couldn't do anything about that. Defending was maybe a little amiss that allowed Danny Zatella so much room. But having got the header in, Bielkowski didn't stand a chance. That was perfectly placed. And it's 1-1. What a game. He's proving prolific.
Le but des États-Unis, USA goal. Conte, scored by number 7, le numéro 7, Danny Zatella.
Well, Montreal is being served a feast again. First two games were outstanding, and here we are, less than 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes in this opening game, in the second round of matches. And already we have a fantastic game taking place beneath us here. Sykes will take his time. Those US nerves having been settled. Now that strike from Zotella. Rogers with a little flicked header. Way by Stosta. Rogers has time to turn and look. Back to Sturgis. Here's Wallace from FC Dallas. Not sure what he was aiming for there. Well, the crowd inside this stadium seems to be growing with every passing minute. People are flooding through the doors. And those who are will be rather berating themselves for having left it late, because they've already missed 2 goals inside the opening 10 minutes. Poland, after 4 minutes, Jancic the scorer, and another Pole on the score sheet 5 minutes later. But Danny Zotella of the United States is the man who got it. Here's Bradley. Nice flip by Adu. Now the US begin to flow. Good challenge there by Marciniak. Beltran hurling it long. Good push and run here by Malaki, which almost got him on the outside of Valentin, but good recovery from the central defender. There's some powerful stuff going on again by Sivka. 2 defenders required to eventually get away from him. There's Altidore, nice turn. Adu, and support right and left, clever footwork. I've seen him beat a couple of defenders, and with the help of Zotella, he's now in position to have a shot from distance. And a good save from Bialkowski has denied Adu a wonder goal. They've suddenly found their form, the United States. Freddie Adu, a youngster with so much potential for so many years, almost delivering. You get the feeling this is not going to end 1-1. Hammered in by Adu. Oh, the goalkeeper's missed it. Wallace picks it up far side. It's almost bumbling out of play. And eventually Poland are happy to see it disappear downfield. Beltran, back in position on his right-hand side. Here's Adu. Wallace. Now Zotella. He's got a real engine on him, hasn't he, Danny Zotella? He'll be up and down the field all day. Scores goals and helps out his defence as well. Wallace striking it up towards Altidore. Good defending by Jaroslav Fojut. They'll be pretty relieved to having got the equaliser so soon, having conceded the United States, because the longer it would have gone on with them behind, the longer their self-belief would have rather dissolved. They were very much second best against the Koreans. Got away with it, really, and that was the judgment of their own coach, Thomas Rongen, in getting the equaliser and, or rather, holding on to the 1-1 against a much livelier Korean side, but here they're under pressure again. That's a good searching cross towards Sivka. Well watched by Tony Beltran. And Chiniak quick up to offer his services. Sivka, but it's run out of play, and it'll be a United States throw-in. It looked as though it came last off a US player, but the Swedish referee has given it the other way. Plenty of red shirts in the middle. Now Chiniak continues his work. Adu does well, just crosses him off the ball, and Zotero picks up the pieces and lays it out to Rogers, and the US looking to push forward positively again here. Altidor's got lots of space, but it doesn't quite reach him. Strugrek with a big, tall, strong header. Of Polska, Polska, with many Polish fans inside the ground. Here's Bradley. Now Beltran. Abdu's made the running. Couldn't quite pick it up on the stretch. Strugrek with the twisted clearance. Abdu wants to get on with it. Bradley. Well, there's certainly a great deal more composure about this US side in this second game. Koreans ran them off their feet, but the US enjoying good spells of possession here, just playing themselves nicely into the game. Here's Beltran. Strugrek again is huge in defence. Zotero and Wallace. UCLA inside to Bradley, who plays with Herenveen in the Netherlands at the moment. That's a good ball by him as well, too, towards Zizzo. Well, it'll be a corner. Popoviak, the goal scorer from the opening game, is back with a header. Freddie Adu will take it. The keeper came and was strong again. He's such a good goalkeeper, this youngster, Bartosz Białkowski. Really does command his penalty area. Well, good play from Zizzo. Persistent, really was. Lovely skills as well. On towards Adu. Adu with a turn and a twist, and the shot for goal! It is stunning! Absolutely stunning! No wonder they're smiling. That was a goal of immense quality. Once they were behind, and now they're ahead, thanks to these skills. Zizzo with a start, Adu with the finish, and what a finish too. Suddenly, the United States are on top of the world. Their woes are becoming a bit of a distant memory. They're beginning to play the game. Well, ever since he was 13 and first appeared in these World Youth Cup Championships
USA goal.
4 years ago now, he's been a player that the world has been talking about. Freddie Adu.
Number 11, Freddie Adu.
Has to be said that in competitions past, both at this level and the under-17s, he hasn't really shone as brightly as his reputation would have it, but today, in this game, he is making a difference. Certainly made a difference to the scoreline. Away by Strugarek. Saka looking for what might be advancing ahead of him. A very different scenario now for the Poles to face than in the first game. In the first game, of course, against Brazil, they took the lead and didn't exactly hang on for the whole of the game after that. They still played some fairly vibrant stuff, but towards the latter stages were simply happy to hang on. Now they have to go and chase the game again. Having led 1-0, they find themselves behind. Here's Wallace. Altidore has made the run and got in just behind his defender Fojut as well, but good recovery by the Bolton Wanderers player. But here's Zatella. Bradley still going. Powerful stuff, but Adu hadn't quite read the intentions of his skipper. Dank. Adam Dank of Gornik. Saha feeds it on to Jancic. Jancic does well. Little flick of the heels and a step over, and then on the left foot he drives the ball across, but nobody really committed on the edge of that 6-yard area, or at least not in the right place. He's a lot happier than he would have been about 10 minutes ago. The worst possible start for his side with Jancic's earlier score, but Zatella and Adu have righted those perceived wrongs. Marciniak looks for distance. Well, they just seem to be a little sharper at the moment, don't they, the United States? A little more aggressive and a little quicker in their stride. It comes with confidence. And it's amazing how quickly that confidence can evaporate, isn't it? You consider the Poles coming into this game having beaten Brazil, the team that everybody fears at whatever level they play, and having beaten Brazil for the first time at the under-20s. They now find themselves trailing to the United States and wondering if they can achieve here. Injury for Danny Zatella. It's going to be okay. The referee just saying that he stopped the game because it was a head injury. That was untidy. Comes Robbie Rogers. Bradley. This is Beltran. Cizzo wide right, but Beltran comes back to the middle. Here's Bradley. Valentin left to Wallace. Playing with confidence, the whole team at the moment. Rogers. Wallace nudges his head, just took it away from its intended target, but Bradley picks it up again for the United States. He was looking for the run of Zizzo, but Zizzo would have needed a jetpack to catch that ball through. Krychowiak. Fojets squared to Strugrek. That's a good ball. Well taken as well by Starosta, the right back, who's advanced very well. It's same in the middle for Jancic again, but Seitz with an easy cutout. Well, they might be second best just at the moment, but they still have the potential to strike. Off the head of Fojets. Not really intended, but safely to Bielkowski in the end. Saka on to Starosta. Starosta's little chip towards Jancic, who's done ever so well here. The goalkeeper had to come out quickly because Valentin couldn't deal with him. And eventually away, but that very nearly turned into an opportunity when it shouldn't have ought to. Hardly forward to Adu again. Little spring in his step as he plays another very, very good ball out towards Sizzo. A couple in the middle. Sizzo, wonderful skills by him again, and he's gone. Well, I think it was a cross rather than going for goal, but it was nowhere near its intended. Josma Altidore. Sal Zizzo, who has Italian heritage as well. He could have nominated to play for Italy or the United States, but again, he's gone for the country of his birth. Currently at the UCLA. Widely forced wide. Altidore just gets a toe end to that, which caused potential problems before Jaroslav Fojek came across to hook it out of play. Freddie Adu, it's unbelievable that he is still only 18 years of age. He's just been in the public sights now for what seems an eternity. Here's Wallace. United States looking to build on the left. Both flanks have provided real moments of palpitation for the Polish defence. Altidore, again given a lot of space, and he takes it well and turns, and Fojek tries to keep track, but Altidore still gets the shot in. And again, Bielkowski has to go down to make the save. You would have expected him to save from that distance, but he's being made to work. Altidore just being held off from by the Polish defence, you feel. Sizzo. Good stuff by Zitella. Here's Adu. Seems to be all over the place at the moment. Playing with real energy, Freddie Adu. And again in position to have the shot. And it's some soft-handed save from Bielkowski. Just denied the follow-up opportunity for Altidore. But Freddie Adu is enjoying himself today, isn't he? Scorer of one great goal. Here's another attempt. A number of shots on target from the United States are beginning to mount up as well. Starosta. He's an interesting character, Ben Starosta, who will take this throw in. Plays with Sheffield United in England, but he isn't actually Polish born. His granddad was Polish. He lives in England and barely speaks a word of Polish. So communication can be difficult sometimes with his teammates. How to play from Valentin. Just about half an hour played in this second game or second round game in Group D. If United States do win this, then the complexion of the group becomes ever more fascinating, but the Poles might still have something to say about that. Here's Sivka, waits for teammates to arrive in the middle before trying to deliver the cross, but too many United States players in there, and they're able to clear away. Adu. Is this going to be a yellow card? Yes, it is. Krikowiak, I think, was the man who was fouled here. I'm not sure it was for that challenge. The referee seemed to be turning away from Starosta. Seemed to be pointing the yellow card at Krikowiak, and I can only assume it was because Krikowiak stood in the way of the attempted quick free kick. Well, it is Starosta, in fact, who has been booked. It's his first yellow card of the tournament. Here's Beltran. Marciniak clears, but only as far as Sizzo. Sizzo again is offside. A late flag waiting for the player to pick up possession and therefore become active. So there were just a few nervous moments amongst the Polish defenders. Very close, very close. The linesman had a good long look before eventually he put the flag up. Well, a correction to the earlier booking. It was, as I suspected, not Starosta who was booked. Krikowiak is the man who's been given the yellow card. It wasn't the foul, it was the fact that Krikowiak was standing in the way of it. Well, the injury again is allowing for players from both sides to take a bit of liquid on board. It's quite humid and warm inside this Olympic Stadium in Montreal, 25 degrees Celsius. This was the injury, by the way. Like a flying elbow that just caught Julian Valentin. Looks more like a heavyweight boxer than a central defender at the moment, doesn't he? Well, I think he's imploring the referee to maybe do something about the challenge, but the ref, pretty sure, saw it as an accidental collision between a forward and a defender, just one of those things. So Jancic goes up. Well, it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, really. Seen it both ways. Sometimes the forward gets penalised for using an elbow in such a way. Other times the referee takes a more lenient view, and that's what's happened on this occasion. No foul, no free kick, simply a drop ball to restart the game. Meanwhile, the defender is on the sidelines nursing his sorrows. Well, in possession, it's almost a back three from Poland. For Starosta, who's got the ball now, really does love to push forward. Here's Dank. It looks as though he's out, seen the last of the game. Julian Valentin. Meantime, with a man down, United States trying to defend. They've got a free kick here. Bradley. The United States have made a substitution now. Julian Valentin is not really fit enough to come back on. Afuri Sarkodie is the man who's come on for the United States.
Substitution for USA team. Valentin comes out and Sarkodie comes in. Alors, Valentin sort du jeu alors que entre dans l'action Sarkodie.
Beltran does well. Sturgis, who has a new central defensive partner alongside him now in Afuri Sarkodie. There's confirmation of that change having been made, so it will just unsettle the United States a little bit, you would have thought. Sarkodie, there is a natural central defender, so he knows the position well enough. Anthony Wallace, the left-back, is the man who's going to come forward and take this throw-in. There is Sarkodie, our first view of him. Koviak can clear. Good recovery from Artur Marciniak, the Polish defender, again with Sizo poised. But he has conceded the corner kick. Next goal in this game is going to be pretty crucial, you would have thought. If the United States can score it, you can only see them going on and winning very comfortably, but if the Poles can get one back, then suddenly self-doubts appear in the United States psyche maybe. Adu's cross is well met by the Polish defence, and they're able to clear once again, but look at the pace. Terrific pace from Sizo, just helping out Beltran. Denying Malecki even a sniff of the ball. Wallace. Now Sarkodie. Here's Bradley. Happy to sit on possession. Nearly 38 minutes played in this first half. The United States still leading by that 2-1. If you're new to the game, then let me tell you the storyline so far. Poland taking the lead after only 4 minutes. Dawid Jancic with a good finish, made it 1-0. Danny Zertela with a clipped header, squaring things up in the 9th minute. And then a wonder goal from Freddie Adu, giving the United States that valuable lead. Here's Bradley. Sizo was trying to lay it back into his path, but the Poles interfere. Sivka. Headed down into the path of Malecki. Saka hugging the touchline. It's a long run again by Starosta, the right back. Really is pushing forward, but unable to turn anything there into something a little more dangerous. Well, it's early days. We've only had less than 2.5 games in this group. But if the United States were to win this match, then suddenly you've got the US on 3 points and Poland on 3 points, both of them having played 2 games. And Korea and Brazil up next. Korea with 1 point and Brazil yet to get off the mark. Which, if that was to be the case after 2 games, really would set alarm bells ringing in South America. Marciniak wants to hurry this throw. Malecki, little chip back inside towards Jancic, trying to lift it over the top, didn't quite get the height over the defender. Marciniak again. Koviak wins it. Here's Starosta. Danks in the middle, over his head. It almost fell for Jancic. It will fall for Malecki. It's a deflection that takes it away for a corner kick. Well, that was an important contribution as well, provided by the United States defender. Oh, there's a problem here for Poland. Jancic has gone down injured. Here's Starosta's cross. Jancic there, obviously hurting himself as he tried the acrobatic. Maybe a bit of a stomach pull. He's going to be okay. I saw him rather melodramatically going down injured in the first game, but he was okay there too. Here comes the Polish corner. The header is just over the bar. My word. They know how close they were. So does Chris Seitz. Five minutes before the break. USA still with that vital lead. Wallace has to turn and run and hook it away. Starosta likewise has to show a bit of his pace. Zatella, good play by him. Wallace. Back towards Sturgis. And all the way back to Sarkodie. The United States, of course, have this very unenviable record of defeats in the FIFA Under-20s World Cup. They've lost more games at this level than any other time. This is their 42nd match on this particular stage, and they've lost the previous 21. Here comes Malecki. Sixth successive appearance in the finals as well for the US. Their best to date back in 1989 in Saudi Arabia when they came fourth in that tournament. They've been handing out the worry beads after the Korean game. But slightly less furrowed brows now. Just a regret. Downfield towards Jancic. Here's Adu. Chases on for Sizzo. Just got there, but it was a heavy hit from the wingman. And so it will be a goal kick despite his protestations. Marciniak. Almost. It's Strugarek, his teammate, on the way through towards Foget. Malecki put a heel on it, but it's Sturgis who picks it up. Foget. Collected here by Sivka. Starosta's up there to take the throw-in for the Poles. Just about a minute left in this first half plus stoppage time as the ball is drifted in. It was Dank who got ahead to it, and it's Bradley who clears it away. The emergency services provided by the USA midfield man. Dank just beating the goalkeeper to the ball, and Bradley lifting it dangerously close to his own net, it has to be said. But the Poles are encouraged. Not anymore. That's a good ball, is it? No, it's not. Interesting there from Chris Seitz. You might have just seen him waving at the ball girl, I think it is behind those nets. He wanted to give him the ball back quickly so he could take this goal kick without too many seconds wasted, but Seitz knows that Time is on his side, if you like, as we go into stoppage time.
Temps additionnel.
United States leading by 2 goals to 1, and
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Sights hits it long. Here's Bradley. Sizzo can't keep it in. Stolarski gets possession inside his own half. There's Dank. Struberek. Sivka's pulled wide, but the pitch only has certain dimensions. And he couldn't go much wider than that as the ball was hammered over his head. Collected by Dank. Saka wins the throw. Wants to get on with it quickly with only about 15 seconds of the first half remaining. The Poles looking for a flourishing finale. Marciniak wasn't quick enough. Dispossessed. Good play here by Sizzo, who just carried inside the opponent's half and might turn this into something very special. Oh, this is a terrific run by Sizzo. Lays it back to Adu. Adu! What a goal! What a goal! Unbelievable! It's the same combination, Sizzo and Adu. He lifts his teammate to the heavens, and well he might, because it's Adu's name that goes up in lights with his second goal of the tournament and second of the game. But it was Sizzo's blistering run that led to that. The United States lead here by 3 goals to 1. It is a quite outstanding finish to this first half. Unbelievable run, it really was, and Adu with a finishing touch.
But des États-Unis, USA goal. Marqué par le numéro
What does that do to Poland now?
Number 11,
as our Swedish referee Martin Hansen blows his whistle for the final time. Sal Sizzo hasn't got his name on the score sheet. It's Freddie Adu has 2 goals to his name, but it's Sizzo who has given them an awful lot to think about at half-time. Michael Kovic, the Polish coach, knows that they've got a long way to come back from here.
Poland 1.
What a first half this has been from the United States, and who would have expected it either? Look at this. Delightful stuff right from the halfway line. Took on 2 defenders, beat them for pace. Little touch on the inside of Struberek, and then the presence of mind to pick out Adu, and look at that for a finish. How good was that? And again, the goalkeeper did not stand a chance. Half-time inside the Olympic Stadium at Montreal, and the United States lead here by 3 goals to 1. There's a real buzz around the stadium as well, because they know they have seen something very, very special. USA dominating possession in that first half. They've had 6 shots on target to just the 1 from the Poles. And at the top line, as you can see, United States 3-1 lead. Terrific stuff, it really has been. Well, the stadium is filling up again with each passing moment. There are more and more people pouring in here. A lot of them will have come to see the next game, Brazil against Korea. A lot of Koreans in town, of course, and the Brazilians always draw big support too, but the Polish and the United States sides have given us a real treat in the first half. especially the US, who've scored 3 really cracking goals in that first period.
USA and Poland.
The first half to remember. United States against the Poles. The Poles took the early lead, only 4 minutes on the clock when they scored here. Lovely ball through for Jančić to pick up and just squeezed it underneath the body of Chris Seitz. And Poland, who'd beaten Brazil by 1-0 in the last game, suddenly found themselves in the lead again by 1-0. They were celebrating maybe too early because the United States response was clinical. Great header there from Denis Zotella, the youngster who has Polish heritage, given an awful lot of space in which he could just settle himself and pick his spot. But boy, did he pick his spot off the crossbar. The goalkeeper did not stand a chance. And the goalie didn't stand a chance here either. Great build-up play. Adu finishing off after Sizzo had laid it up for him. But it was a very, very good finish. Sizzo with a great build-up play, and then Adu latching onto it. Little twist, little turn, had a look up, and again, past the goalkeeper. Perfectly placed in off the post. 2-1, the United States lead. And they were going for goal at every opportunity. Altidore from distance with a good strike, but Bielkowski down to make the save. That was the end of Julian Valentin's game. An elbow in the eye from David Jančić, meant a cut above the eyebrow, and he had to go off. And then the United States, it looked as though they were playing for time. It looked as though Zizzo was just looking to get it as deep as possible inside his opponent's half, but how deep can you go? Simply kept going and going, and eventually onto Freddie Adu, and in this mood, he's not going to miss. The second goal of stunning quality from the United States striker, and that's the reason why the world has been watching him for the last 4 or 5 years. Half-time in the Olympic Stadium, the US lead by 3-1.